My father was Oscar Joseph Harline. He was the stake president from 1945 to 1956. And he had a 3-acre farm right here. And he would come home from work. He'd change from his suit to his overalls, and he'd feed the cows and the chickens and the pigs and milk the cows and weed the garden. And then he'd quickly change back to his suit and run to a stake meeting. One of the best gifts Dad gave his children was to watch him be our mom's sweetheart. He was very verbal about his love for her.
But President Harline was a strict bishop, but he was nice to work with. I got along fine with him, and of course I was in the Iranian priesthood then, or primary, and
he wanted things done right. Very efficient. Always seemed friendly and nice to everybody. But I know that he was very concerned with the population of the ward and how they were doing. You could feel that around him. He was concerned about everybody.
He was a wonderful bishop, and he looked after his people. I know of one family that was having a hard time, and they didn't have enough food for their family, a large family. And he took a cow, one of his cows, and gave them. They wouldn't take help from the welfare.
Oh, really?
But he took a cow over there and told them they had to feed that, and they had plenty of pasture land in that area at that time for food for the cow. But then they had milk for their family.
I see.
But President Harline did little things like that all the time.
Right after World War II, when President Benson was going to go over to Europe, and all the saints over there, especially the ones in Germany, were starving. And my mom was the Stake Relief Society president at the time, and they asked all the wards and all the stakes to try and get together warm clothes and shoes to take to the Mormon saints in Germany. And Mom used our double garage to store stuff in until it got all packed up and ready to send. And our whole garage, we couldn't even take our cars in there. It was full of things that everyone in the stake had prepared to go there over to Europe. It was just filled with shoes and coats and other things.
And we never did get all of it. There had to be, an agreement was made that to get it to us, we'd also have to share it with the Protestants and the Catholics. So I'm not sure if we got a third of it, but not all of it came to us. But what did come saved our lives ultimately, because we really were at the last. We really didn't know how it would continue.
And I want to bear my testimony to you tonight, that I know that God lives. I know that Joseph Smith was a prophet of God. When I read his story, when I read the scriptures, there's a tingle that goes up and down my back, and my heart pumps a little harder, bearing testimony to me that is the truth. God bless you, I pray.
When my dad was bishop of the Hillcrest Ward, they built a prayer room that was on the second floor. You go up this flight of stairs and it's right at the top of the stairs. And I've had so many people during my life tell me how much that prayer room meant to them. And someone in the stake painted a picture of Joseph Smith in the Sacred Grove praying, which a big picture that covered most of one wall. And you could go in there anytime and pray, or they'd have special prayer circles in there.
The prayer room was at the top of the stairs in the corner, and it was used only for prayer rooms. When every auxiliary had, before their meeting that they started, they would go up there and have their prayer meeting. There was a beautiful painting in almost the entire length of the south wall that was of Joseph, and he was in the grove, and the Father and the Son were there. It was a beautiful setting, and they would use it a lot for really just prayer meetings of helping the sick and praying and fasting and prayer. And that my parents many times were involved, and when they would come home and I was just a little girl, I could feel a difference because they would have been sitting around in a circle. They had been kneeling after them when they prayed, and I think that several people prayed at different times through that meeting. And when they came home, there was just a different feeling about them, and it was really quite wonderful to feel.
And I found a thing that my dad wrote about the prayer room. I was ordained a bishop in November 8th, 1925. We immediately began to build the Hillcrest Ward Chapel. We had a prayer room built. During this same winter, we had a lot of sickness. As a bishopric, we were going day and night to administer to people. One night at 3 o'clock in the morning, while walking home, I had no automobile, a voice came to me that said, "Why don't you honor your priesthood?" Honor my priesthood? Why, I'm going day and night. And then the voice came again, "Why did you build your prayer room?" I wondered what it all meant, and at last decided we should call a special prayer meeting. We did, and we asked about 18 members to be present. We asked 4 different brethren to pray, to ask that the whooping cough would cease and no more cases come. We also had living in our ward a family by the name of Strikewater, who had a 2-year-old boy in the Holy Cross Hospital that was very, very sick with meningitis of the brain. So they asked that he be healed or taken home to his Maker, and this was Sunday. On Monday, he was worse, and then Tuesday, he was better and taken to his house, a well boy. He is still living, December 4th, 1932, a fine boy. Within a week, all the sickness was gone from the whooping cough. Our prayers were answered. This was a living testimony to all our people. God does live. Oscar J. Harline.